All right, cool. So here with personal trainer, bootcamp instructor James Scott for our interview today. James, how are we doing?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, very well, very well. After about the best part of 45 minutes trying to work out how to record off Skype, we got there eventually. Good stuff. Right, okay, let's crack straight in then, James. So I want to keep this nice and short and sweet. I know the boot campers haven't got a very long attention span, so we want them to get to the end of this. So let's see. Tell us a bit about your story, who you are, what you do, how you get there, how you got there. I'm quite interested to hear this as well because obviously you haven't been with us for too long, so I don't know too much. So yeah, tell us about you, James.
Okay, I suppose the biggest thing to kind of bring up of my past is I spent 6 years in the infantry.
Right.
I deployed several times. Afghanistan, a few places in Africa, a bit in Central America.
Cool.
Obviously, a lot of fitness, motivation, that kind of thing from that. Once I got out, it was kind of the logical thing to do. Turn my hand to that. Spent a bit of time training people in the standard gyms, shall we say.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really the way that I like to do things. From personal experience, I know it works a lot better doing fitness in other ways. Then I found Fitness Experts, and it's been a good fit since.
Cool. Good stuff. Okay, nice. And so also then, so tell us an interesting fact about yourself that other people might not know, apart from the fact that obviously you used to be a woman and you had the snip and no, tell us something they may not know about you.
Something that a lot of people don't necessarily know, because I never used to tell people about it, but actually when I was in the army, there was a couple of TV series, a few that were on kind of BBC Three, things like that, following soldiers through training and then onward into deployment.
Oh, right.
And I seem to pop up in the background of quite a lot of them. One or two of them, although they didn't edit it out, was me in an absolute state after doing some fitness. Just so that you can see, if you ever find it, that I can get in that way too.
You sure you weren't just like one of these people trying to get your break on television? Like every time there's a camera trying to get in the background of it, you see them on the news and
Might
stuff.
happen a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Cool. So, fine. Moving on to then your boot camps and the type of training you do. So, we've got lots of new people starting at the moment, with it being January, and lots of boot campers who, perhaps were busy over Christmas, might not have done your sessions yet. What can people expect from your boot camps, or if they do personal training with you?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm quite a big fan of being able to move your own body weight before you can do anything else. So I do like to get quite a lot of body weight moves in there.
Cool.
They can be effective. And a lot of people kind of ignore them because they've got other bits of equipment.
Yeah.
So I like to bring those in. I also like to make things a bit more interesting. One of the biggest selling points of the Fitness Experts and the boot camps is that we've got interesting kits like tyres, ropes, kettlebells, just all that kind of stuff. So I like to at least get a couple of those into every boot camp session, as well as PT sessions, all depending obviously on what the kind of thing we're training for. But as a whole, I like to make sure we've got a bit of bodyweight stuff and a bit of interesting kit in there as well.
Yeah, cool. Keep it interesting. And I mean, particularly that's one of the things for me is like, I worked we talked about earlier, some of the normal gyms and stuff. You've had that experience. I did that for 15 years or so. And for me, like that's one of the things about the Fitness Experts, regardless of what the exercise sessions are, if above all they're fun and they're varied and they're interesting, the very fact that kind of people want to come to those sessions, gives us a massive, advantage in terms of people getting results, because regardless of what you're doing in the sessions, the main reason most people don't get results is because it's boring and, they just drop out because they don't go. So yeah, that's cool. I mean, who would want to be standing on an elliptical cross trainer for 45 minutes when you can be throwing tractor tyres around and smacking boxing bags in and things like that, eh?
Exactly. There's a good reason you see people on those trainers day in, day out, year in, year out, and never change. There's a reason they don't change.
That's it, exactly that. And yeah, I was speaking to someone the other day. You see these people who do like, spinning classes and things like that. Now, nothing against that. I know some people love that, and that's cool. Like that's, if that's what they do regularly. But they do the same thing. They've been doing the same class week in, week out, the same two classes with the same two instructors doing the same thing. And, cool, they get results to begin with, but it's no surprise that once your body adapts to it, your results plateau and you stop doing it. So, that's why I know I bang on at you guys all the time, but keeping those sessions varied so that people kind of never quite know what they're going to do. Not only does it keep the motivation up, but from a results point of view, you can challenge all your different muscles in completely different ways with different reps, different weights, different exercises, and there's just unlimited numbers of possibilities. So just lets you lot run wild, which is what people seem to like. Cool. Okay, sweet. So moving on then. So like we said, lots of new people starting at the moment. What would you say is your number one tip for new boot campers who are just starting? It could be, exercise related, it could be to do with nutrition, motivation, whatever, one thing. What do you think?
I think my number one tip is probably a motivation one. Mm-hmm. It's probably remember why you started.
Yeah.
Whenever it starts to get difficult, you've always got to think, has the reason I started here changed?
Totally,
no. In which case, why should you stop training? Why should you give up?
Cool.
Always
I love that. That's cool. That's the mindset thing. So that's it. Everyone has a motivation or a reason you did it. Most people don't join the gym because they like the gym. I know there's some people out there. There's that kind of minority people who love it, but most people don't. It's like the analogy I use when I speak to people is you don't buy a drill because you love drills. You buy a drill because you want a hole in the wall. It's the result that you're after, and it's the same with joining a gym. So that's, I think that's what you're saying there is, focus on when it's getting tough and when you don't feel like doing it, remember, take yourself back to, what that motivation is. Whether it's that wedding that you've got in 6 months' time that you want to look great for, or whether it's that, holiday you got coming up with your friends where you want to look great. Like that's the thing that's going to get you going along on those cold January and February evenings when you don't fancy it.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Right, so let's move on then. So, okay, what is one of the most common mistakes you see people doing when they first start exercising?
Okay, it doesn't really happen so much in boot camps, but one of my biggest pet peeves is people copying things out of magazines.
Yeah.
It's magazine workouts, although some of them can be good workouts, usually have picture A and picture B at the start and finish of an exercise.
Yeah.
Now, if you take a deadlift, picture A is someone about to pick it up, picture B is someone stood up with it.
Yeah.
The bit in the middle is actually the important bit.
Yeah.
From one to the other. That's never shown.
Totally, yeah.
So you can do weird and wonderful things to get there, and they can be the worst things for you. So my number one kind of common mistake is people just looking at two pictures and making their own way of getting from A to B, which is why things like this are much better because you're guided through everything. So we don't have that mistake too much here, but
I love that. That's wicked. And you see people doing that, that's one of the great things. That's one of the things we try and do with the fitness experts to make it different from those normal gyms is obviously we've got, 10 brilliant trainers and we want you to get lots of, advice from them and spend time with them because most people's experience of, trainers at gyms is other than maybe if they do, some sort of induction where they show them how to turn a treadmill on, most of the experience they get, in my opinion is unfortunately the trainers talking to the people in the gym that they know who are typically the ones who have a better idea of what they're doing or sitting by the desk on their mobile phone texting their mates waiting for their shift to finish. Like that's kind of that's not helping the people. So I love that. That's cool. Nice. Okay, so all right, this is something I'm asking all the trainers just to give people some ideas about things that snack ideas or meal ideas and stuff. So give me an idea of the types of things you're going to be eating for breakfast, lunch and dinner today.
Okay, breakfast this morning, had an omelette.
Yeah, nice.
Nice and simple.
Nice.
I'm not too awake in the morning as normally first thing, so I like to have it simple.
Omelette's nice and quick. What do you put in that then?
This morning there was just a little bit of ham ripped up, chucked in, nice and simple because it was early.
Lovely. You were taking the early boot camp this morning, so that really was early. Yeah, that's middle of the night stuff for me.
It's got to be done. For lunch, a bit of grilled chicken, some roasted sweet potato, a bit of broccoli, a few other bits of veg like that, all in a bowl, and I put a little bit of chili flakes on it and give it a bit of a kick.
Nice.
So that'd be my lunch. And then later on, this evening I'm having some salmon. Usually put some sort of flavouring on it, and then a bit of brown rice, and then quite a lot of veg. I like to go for kind of crunchy side of veg.
Yeah.
It fills me up a bit more, so carrots, things like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you're saying so this morning, for example, so you had an early start. So did you prep some of that food last night, or that's left over from another meal, or what?
No, well, this morning, omelette was easy to go. The ham was kind of, it was some gammon that before, so I ripped up some bits of that and chucked that in.
Oh, but like, so your lunch, I mean, or are you going back to that later?
That's gonna be all done pretty much.
Nice.
Fresh stuff later.
Cool, good stuff. Sounds like I'm coming round to yours for dinner tonight. Okay, so right, we're nearly there then. So if people want to find out more about you, James, and what you do, obviously as well as all the amazing boot camps you're putting on for us at the moment, you run your personal training business as well. You're starting to get some people doing that. So if people want to find out more about your one-to-one training, obviously other than speaking to you at the boot camps, have you got a website or a Facebook page or something they can get more details?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is go on the website. It's www.jsfitness.co.uk. There's all a little bit more about me, a little bit more about what I do, how I do it, things like that. Yeah. So it's a good place to stop in and see. Nice,
cool. So get over there and check out James and what he does. Good stuff. So let's finish off then with a question from one of the members that has been sent in. Let's have a look which one it was we were going to do. I've got... seem to have hundreds of emails that have been sent in here. Okay, so the question was, James, any advice for what to do about sugar cravings to get rid of them or at least help with them? And that's from Paula.
Okay, I think the easiest thing, the small change you can make with this is starting out the day with protein rather than anything sugary. A lot of cereals people eat, a lot of kind of things you put on your toast and stuff like that, a lot of carbohydrate as a whole. It sets off the whole roller coaster between insulin and sugar. So the rest of the day, you're just going up and down with your sugar and your insulin.
And that's why you go from feeling really alive to an hour later feeling really tired. Your blood sugar's going up, down.
And then you want something sugary, you have that, you get a high, then you get another low. And you go between. If you start with a bit of protein in your breakfast, then that fills you up the same as it would if you'd had something else, except you're not setting off that roller coaster. So you're not getting to mid-morning and having that crash because you've run out of sugar, because your body's not running on the sugar in the first place.
Cool, yeah.
So I think it's a good bet. It's quite a simple change. There's quite a few things you can have in terms of kind of eggs are always a good one. Hence why I had the omelette this morning. That kind of thing. So long as you don't start that roller coaster off first thing in the morning, you tend to be able to keep fairly consistent through the day.
I think that's one thing for me. Like obviously, I'm not a personal trainer. I didn't have that background, but that's one of the kind of aha moments for me. Was it makes a massive difference. Like you even if you think you're eating a healthy breakfast, you can be eating a breakfast which is full of sugar. You have like a pint of orange juice, and it's okay. I've only had a bit of toast today or a bowl of cereal, but actually it's just full of sugar, all of that stuff, and that's like what most people have for breakfast in the morning. So by making that simple little change to having kind of a protein base, maybe like a handful of nuts or something with it as well for a few fats. Like for me, I was definitely in that kind of, like you said, the roller coaster where I start the day and I'm up and I'm down and I'm up and I'm down, and it drains you. So I think that's a great advice for anybody. Good tip. Nice. All right, good stuff. Well, I think